Hello everyone and welcome back to My Opinion. India have won their second group match of this Champions Trophy by 6 wickets. And unlike the previous match, this was a convincing chase and they have booked their place in the semi-finals. Let's now get into this review. Starting off with the 11s, I won't go on for too long about the Indian 11 because, as I'd said before, if you're not prioritizing the good of the international side over your personal preferences as to which players you'd want to see play and do well, then for a team that has won the majority of the matches that it has played, if they get to the final hurdle and fall short because of such decisions, you've got to be open to accepting plaudits because of success, but also criticisms and consequences because of failure. And I'm highlighting that because there is no justification, in my view, for leaving out a proven performer like Arshdeep Singh. I'm very surprised that they're doing it. I thought they had rested him for the white ball series versus England because he was a sure shot in the 11, but I didn't think that he wouldn't be a sure shot and they were going to be prioritizing others ahead of him. So I really don't understand that. And now in Pakistan, I'd said instead of Imam ul Haq, they should play one of Usman Khan and Kamran Ghulam as the opener, and they should open with Saud Shakil and play Babar as a 3. And I also said Salman Agha should bat at 4 with Mohammad Rizwan number 5. Another selection call for Fahim Ashraf to start ahead of Tayyib Tahir. And the selection calls, you could say none of the calls that I had recommended took place. And starting things off, Mohammad Rizwan won the toss and chose to bat first. Then and there, the match was over. Now, as a host nation in the first match, you don't read the conditions and you choose to bowl first. The match was done and there, and we saw. In fact, he said that the surface would play better and the ball was turning square, and we saw how they chased in that match. And what I'm trying to say is the reason why I think they chose to bat first in this match is it has nothing to do with the conditions. It's because against the South Africa B team in the Tri-Series, they chased down that score of 350 up. Then they would have thought, right, our strength is chasing. Then in the final of that series, they thought, okay, we've batted first, we've not got a great score, then we've lost. So our strength is still chasing. They play the first match of this tournament and don't show up in a chase. It was as if I was watching an open net session. Okay, our strength isn't chasing. Our strength surely must be batting first. Let's bat first, and we shouldn't do, oh wait, batting first is not strength either. So it has nothing to do with the conditions. It's purely on, right, what did we do the previous game? And surely the thing that we should have done, because obviously we would have won then, that is our strength. If you're thinking of things like that rather than introspecting on team combination and other things, then you've got no chance. And in the power play, I'd say this again, India did not bowl well, and I'd say in both fielding innings thus far, they have not shown the intensity that they showed in the ODI and T20 World Cups. Mohammad Shami, he bowled many wides in the over and was kept on rolling his ankle to check if things were okay. And when watching that, I'll ask this: if you knew there was such a cloud around a player's fitness, especially, because I thought considering that cloud, he has performed well. Even in this match, none for 43 in 8 overs was, I thought, it was a respectable performance considering what we saw at the start. He went for 2 sixes overall, the 6 off Harris Shroff at the end. But if there's such a cloud over a player, then there are many bowlers in India. Surely you could have at least selected someone else rather than someone who, yes, he's performed decently considering the injury cloud. But if you're not sure about his match sharpness because of that injury, then there are many other options you could have taken. And the reason why I'm saying this is because he came back in his second spell today and bowled well. But against better opposition, if he didn't come back and you're not playing Arshdeep, things could have gone a different way. So 52 for 2 in the power play, and I'd said Imam ul Haq should not open. And yes, he played the innings that he played, but I don't think he affected proceedings because Pakistan already, they had got 52, which was a good start on the power play. They lost 1 wicket more, which is a needless run out when, yes, you're not going too well personally, but when the team has got a good start, you're needlessly going for that run and getting run out. And I didn't quite understand that. Babar Azam was the first to be dismissed, and the scores on 40. A lucky delivery, a dismissal from the point of view of Hardik Pandya. But that was what opened the door for India to get back into this match, and they did do that. And after a certain point in time, where in the third wicket partnership, which spanned for 145 deliveries, yielded 104 runs. If you're looking back to the Bangladesh match, I'd said from overs 25 to 30, when the partnership has already crossed 50, yes, from 35 for 5, you've got no chance. But the fact is you need at least 270 on this surface to challenge India. Therefore, you've got to be targeting that and not going for a recovery, which looks like a recovery on paper, but it's got no impact in helping you win the match. And I thought both the batsmen were quite stuck against the spinners from overs 25 to 30. The strike rotation was not there, and that's why they had too much to do at the end, and they only got 228. In this case, after the score crossed 80, a boundary was scored after a long time, and the singles started to flow as well, meaning at one stage, India they could not curtail the singles, the strike rotation from Saud Shakil and Mohammad Rizwan. Mohammad Rizwan was slowly digging himself out of the very slow start. At one point he was 17 of 42, and Saud Shakil was also slowly accelerating, albeit he hadn't started as slowly as Rizwan. They were 151 for 2, and on the shot that Rizwan played, we've seen him get into similar situations where he's entrenched himself. I thought in the World Cup he didn't entrench himself, but he had played quite a few deliveries at that point in time. And the difference between this dismissal and those two is because the reason why he went for that shot of Bumrah in the ODI and T20 World Cups is because he looks to go for that shot, hitting a 6 over square leg, behind square leg of the seamers as a release shot. And for the incoming delivery, the reason why he went for that is because he looked to see where that release shot could be manufactured. Was it the right timing at that point in time given the match situation? No, it wasn't, but that is why he went for that shot, because that is his release shot. In this case, you're stepping down the track, you're yorking yourself, and off effectively a straight ball that was going to turn away from you, you're swinging across the line and being bowled by the straight ball. I didn't quite understand that shot. When 151 for 2, I was thinking, despite at one point the run rate was under 4, that Pakistan could have gone on from there, could have accelerated. They were accelerating, we were getting timely boundaries, and the strike rotation was frequent. They could have easily gone on to get at least 270 with Saud Shakil and Rizwan batting for longer than they did. Instead, Rizwan plays that shot, which I thought showed a lack of game sense. Then Saud Shakil gifts a wicket of Hardik Pandya, and the foundation is lost. I'd said they shouldn't play at the hip there, and we saw that dismissal. Instead of defending with a straight bat, you're busy turning the bat face at the pace that Jadeja bowls, and you're getting bowled to a straight ball. I really didn't understand that at all. So Pakistan's start was lost. I thought that they should have sent out Salman Aga number 4. As I said before, they didn't do that. But if you're not doing that, they had a foundation. And instead of continuing that gradual acceleration and frustrating India, they played into India's hands after that point. Salman Ali Aga didn't hit a boundary, but he was slowly setting himself up. Where at that point in time, since Pakistan don't have batting depth, they had to be mindful, and he tried to slog and was dismissed. Kushal Shah once again played well today after the previous match, 38 of 35. And the reason why I'm saying all this is because we saw in the final over, or I think the penultimate, I don't know why Mohammad Shami was bowling short deliveries to Haris Rauf and hit him for 6. If Haris Rauf is hitting a 6 off Shami at the end, and Naseem Shah is scoring 14 runs, and you still get to 241, do you not think Mohammad Rizwan and Saud Shakil batting for a bit longer would have meant that they got more than that, at least 20 odd runs more than that. They could have got to 270 and this would have been more competitive. So I thought it showed a lack of game sense, especially from Rizwan. And looking at the Indian bowling effort, I'll say this again. The intensity that we saw in the ODI and T20 World Cups has not been present in the fielding innings in both these encounters against Bangladesh and Pakistan because it hasn't had to be. Both teams have played into their hands, and when you're not making the correct selection calls either, it seems as if things are going rosy. They will be tested by a more assured batting lineup in New Zealand. And you're looking at Harshit Rana's figures today, 1 for 30 and 7.4. And in the previous match, 3 for 31, I think, in that same amount as well. Look at the times when he's bowling. He's not bowling as many overs in the power play. I thought Babar Azam took him for a couple of covered drives because of the inexperience. And then you're bringing him on after you're managing with Hardik Pandya and the three spinners in the middle. You're bringing him on when the pressure is not there. The game has been broken. So when you're using him in that way, you're not playing a proven performer like Arshdeep Singh. I really don't understand that. If Arshdeep had played today's match 190 all out, and things would have been even worse for Bangladesh in the previous match had Arshdeep Singh played. So you're just shooting yourself in the foot by not prioritizing the best 11 for India. And now India's batting innings, there's not too much to say. I thought Naseem didn't bowl badly early on. I thought it was a combination, honestly speaking. The Pakistan seamers very early on bowled better than India did in the power play. And yes, he bowled one short one that Rohit Sharma hit for 6 over square leg. But apart from that, because he charged down the track and hit him over mid-off, Naseem went for 16 runs in his first 2 overs. And despite that, he went for 37 and 8 when defending a low score. He's been bowling very well up front, albeit he has been going runs at the death. Apart from him, Abrar Ahmed has been the only other bright spark for Pakistan with a ball. The rest have been either unpenetrative or just out of form. Some have been bold enough, which I'll get to as well. So Naseem Shah, the moment things didn't go well for him, I thought the current form that Shaheen Afridi is in, yes, he dismissed Rohit Sharma with a very good Yorker. But the moment Shubman Gill hit him for 3 boundaries, including the one straight down the ground, you could tell that he couldn't quite figure out what to do after that point. He hasn't been in great form in the last few matches, and in this match, 2 for 74 and 8 overs. He went for runs, being a lead bowler defending this kind of a score against his playing. Pakistan had no chance to win the match. And I'm very happy that Virat Kohli got this century under his belt, his 51st century in ODI cricket. I'll say this again. I would like him and Rohit Sharma to play the World Cup in 2027 in South Africa, given the nature of the services there. You need the experience of a Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli to help India win the World Cup in those conditions. So I would really like to see those two playing there. It was a typical Kohli knock because the boundary percentage was fairly low. There are a lot of things involved rotating the strike, and he looked in command when he was at the crease. And the reason why I'm not surprised he played this knock is because you're comparing Pakistan with the challenges that other teams can offer. You saw in the previous match the spinners Mehdi Hasan Miraz and Rashad Hussain on the slow turner. They adjusted their pace, and that's why when they got the ball to turn a lot at a slower pace, you saw Kohli was found wanting. In a fidgety innings he played the previous match. In this case, he may be getting out to seamers when playing in red ball cricket when they bowl on the off-stump line. In my view, unless you've got someone like a Trent Boult on your side, you cannot threaten Virat Kohli with pace bowling in white ball cricket. And we saw how he was assured against them in today's innings. And the difference between the threats offered by Pakistan spinners and the opposition was that, as I said, Pakistan spinners bowled a lot quicker through the air, and therefore they couldn't get the purchase of the slow turner. Now you look at India's next match, in New Zealand, where their part-timers such as Graham Phillips, as well as their frontline spinner and Mitchell Santner, can vary their pace to extract more turn on slow turners such as Karachi and in Dubai. So they could offer more of a challenge to Kohli, but if you've not got the spin attack to make use of the conditions, despite Abrar Ahmed bowled very well, then with the pace attack and especially with the form they're in, they are not going to trouble Virat Kohli. We saw how we dealt with him. He looked in command when he was at the crease, and I'm very happy that he played this kind of a knock. I would like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli to be part of the World Cup side in 2027, as I may have mentioned. And if you're looking at the momentum aspects in a short tournament, you've got both Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli going well, India's two best players. And in a short tournament, if they continue this momentum, you can write India's name on that trophy, especially if they play Arshdeep Singh ahead of Harshit Rana to field their full strength 11. You can write India's name on that trophy. You can put that white blazer on them because they will be the ones lifting that trophy on finals day. Shreyas said also 56 of 67. I've mentioned entry point many times. Today, there was no problem because it was after the 12th over. He walked out in the 18th over and he played a very good knock. Once again, they tried to get Hardik Pandya to bat more. He walked out at 5. He was dismissed, but I don't think there's too big of a fuss about that. And 244 for 4, convincing chase from India. And if only Arshdeep Singh is played ahead of Harshit Rana, no disrespect to the latter, India looked the primed side to win this tournament. And now on Pakistan, it said Shaheen Afridi has been going for runs for the past while, 2 for 74 and 8. Naseem Shah, he's been going well at the start. He has gone for runs at the death, but there was no death overs today because the match was finished fairly early. Haris Shroff, you're looking at every delivery ball. There were 2 times where there was a potential for him to get a wicket, especially the first of those where a wide one to Virat Kohli, a catch that it could have carried to Naseem Shah on another day. And then something that wasn't going to be a wicket, but the ball seaming into Shreyas. And apart from that, you're looking at the lengths that he bowled. Bowling short, he didn't extract much bounce. Virat Kohli is easily pulled him, or looked easy. He pulled him for 4. He didn't look perturbed by him bowling in that fashion at all. And I'm saying this because you're an experienced bowler. You've actually been going for runs a lot of the time nowadays, but you're an experienced bowler. A do-or-die match is the host nation against India, and this is the performance that you put up. In the next match, yes, Hasnain in the one match, I think especially the one that sticks out is the one that he played against the second-string South Africa side in the Tri-Series. He went for 72 and 8 overs. He didn't pick up a wicket. However, Haris Shroff, the experienced team, isn't going for runs, so you may as well give him a chance. I would do that next match. I'm certainly playing Hasnain ahead of Haris Shroff. I talked about Kushdil Shah's impact as a spin bowler on slow turners such as Karachi and in Dubai. We have seen he had no impact whatsoever. And by the time he's playing well with a bat, the match is already lost. You don't have the batting depth. By the time he walks out to bat, he's looking over his shoulder. He's either reducing the margin of defeat or he is doing his best to prop up the score, but the score that they achieve is nowhere near enough, and that's what we saw today. So I don't quite get the role that he's playing in the side despite him going over the bat, because he walks so far down that his impact is not going to help you win the match, and with his bowling he cannot be that second spinner after Abrar Ahmed. And Salman Agha has bowled 5 overs in 2 matches, has walked out about both times that the match has been over. The first time 69 for 3 in 20 overs, chasing 320. In this case, both the set batsmen gift their wickets away and you've not got batting depth. So they've not used an informed player well either. Looking at this attack, there's only Naseem Shah, Abrar Ahmed who've been bowling well now. Shaheen Afridi has been going for runs, but I'd still play him. Mohammad Hasnain would surely have to play in a most likely dead rubber match against Bangladesh in Rawalpindi. And apart from that, they have no options outside. They should bring Fahim Ashraf in place of Tayyib Tahir, where you're looking. I think I may have said this. You're looking to defend off Jadeja instead of doing it with a straight bat. You're playing like this, and you're getting bowled to a straight one. I really don't understand that at all. So that is on this team. If you're, I'd said at the start, when you're making a decision at the toss and you don't consider the trends at the venue, when you don't know what your strength is either, because you think, right, if we won, let's say bowling first or batting first, then that would have to be our strength if you won our recent match. And you've been winning and losing, and a lot of time after that one win, you've been losing. So you're just chopping and changing between what you'll do first, and nothing is going well for you. With the options that you select with a bat, you've got to pick the players out who you think will score close to 100 strike rate when you've got so much talent in the country, seemingly prioritizing names over the players who you think will play. Or so many young players, and instead, I really don't understand that at all. So that's on Pakistan. In terms of what they can do in the next match, I think they'll beat Bangladesh in Rawalpindi. That's a side that has not got the boots to compete on the best batting surface in this tournament. What I think they may do is Imam Haq certainly won't play the next match. So, since Rawalpindi doesn't offer much to the seamers or the spinners, what they could do is bring in Usman Khan and say, right, you swing at everything, just have a swing, we're out of the tournament. On a road of a surface, just do what you want. That is one thing that they could do. Either him or Kamran Ghulam, as I said in the preview for this match, but I'm sure they'll put Usman Khan because he's more of an opening batsman. And since their rhetoric is that they don't score fast enough, I'm sure they'll get someone who swings at everything on a flat surface to go out and express himself. So that is on Pakistan. Decisions need to be made in for the betterment of their cricket. There's so much talent around, but if those decisions aren't made, then we'd see more of this. For India, I'd still say the intensity they have not needed to show in these first two games, they will have to show against New Zealand. That would be a great test for India ahead of the knockouts. I feel they have a great edge against every team when playing in Dubai, and a test against New Zealand when you're not going to play against them in that semi-final. I think a test against bowlers who use that slow turn much better, exponents of that better than a team like Afghanistan who struggled with it against South Africa, and Pakistan in this case had not got the spin resources, would be great for India. They take that box off, and whether they do or they don't, if they gain enough learnings from that, you can write India's name on that trophy. You can put that white blazer on each one of the players. Right now, India are winning this tournament. So that's on that, and let's see what things are to follow. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. Remember, this is my opinion. Well, cheers.